The small town of Cedar Ridge, tucked between the Appalachian foothills and a stretch of two-lane highway, was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone's middle name. Life moved slowly here. Church bells on Sundays, farmers markets on Saturdays, and gossip passed faster than the mail. That was why, when second-grade teacher Eleanor Holloway vanished one cool October morning, the town changed overnight. Eleanor wasn't just a teacher. She was the type who stayed late decorating bulletin boards, baked cookies for her students' birthdays, and remembered every child's favorite color. So when she didn't show up for work on a Wednesday, the school secretary assumed she'd overslept. By 10 a.m., with no answer to calls or texts, Principal Marjorie Green dialed the local sheriff's office. Deputies found Eleanor's little blue sedan abandoned on the shoulder of Route 17, less than a mile from her home. The driver's door was unlocked. Her purse was on the passenger seat, phone inside. No signs of a struggle, but also no Eleanor. Sheriff Dale Whitaker told reporters they were treating the case as a likely abduction. A jogger claimed to have seen a dark pickup idling near the road the night before. Cedar Ridge buzzed with theories. Stranger danger. A drifter passing through. Maybe she'd been taken while fixing a flat tire. Search parties scoured the woods. Flyers were taped to every shop window. At the Friday night football game, the announcer asked for prayers over the loudspeaker. But as days turned into weeks, the optimism began to fray. Investigators widened their search to Eleanor's personal life. She was married to Daniel Holloway, a quiet accountant who'd been at a business conference in another state the night she disappeared. Their marriage, neighbors said, seemed picture-perfect. But one of Eleanor's colleagues quietly told detectives something unsettling. Eleanor had been distracted for weeks, often glancing at her phone during lunch, whispering on calls she wouldn't explain. A search of her phone revealed dozens of messages with someone saved only as M. The conversations grew increasingly intense over the last month. Eleanor had written, "I can't keep living two lives. He'll find out." Detectives traced M to Matthew Cole, a former student's father. He was well-liked in town, owned a construction company, coached Little League, and was married with 2 kids. When questioned, Matthew claimed their relationship had been a brief mistake and said they'd ended it weeks earlier. He had an alibi for the night she vanished, home with his family. But surveillance footage from a gas station near Route 17 showed Matthew's truck driving east at 1:47 a.m. the night Eleanor disappeared. He told police he was in bed by 11. Just as suspicion mounted around Matthew, a hunter stumbled upon something chilling: Eleanor's scarf, torn and half-buried in leaves near a creek outside town. But DNA tests revealed a shock. None of Matthew's DNA was found on it. Instead, the fabric contained trace amounts of Daniel Holloway's blood. Daniel's alibi began to unravel. Hotel records showed he'd checked out early from his business trip and driven back to Cedar Ridge that same night. His explanation, "I wanted to surprise her," rang hollow to detectives. Under questioning, Daniel finally broke. He admitted their marriage had been strained for months. He'd discovered her affair weeks earlier and had confronted her the night she disappeared. According to him, they argued in the car on Route 17. She got out. He drove off. That, he swore, was the last time he saw her. But investigators didn't buy it. A neighbor's doorbell camera captured Daniel's car returning home hours later, mud on the tires, trunk partially open. 3 months after Eleanor vanished, divers found her body weighted beneath the creek bridge, wrapped in a tarp. The coroner determined she died of blunt force trauma. Daniel Holloway was arrested shortly after. In his confession, he admitted he hadn't meant to kill her. He claimed Eleanor had told him she planned to leave him for Matthew. He'd grabbed her arm, she'd stumbled, hit her head on the guardrail. Panicked, he'd hidden the body in the creek and staged her disappearance. But the evidence suggested more. The tarp, the weights, the deliberate disposal. It wasn't a crime of passion alone, it was a cover-up. The trial gripped Cedar Ridge. People who'd once waved to Daniel at the grocery store now crossed the street. The students at Cedar Ridge Elementary left flowers and handwritten notes outside Eleanor's classroom door for weeks. Matthew Cole moved his family out of town quietly. The school renamed the Reading Garden after Eleanor. In the end, Daniel was sentenced to life in prison. But in Cedar Ridge, the sense of safety was gone. People started locking their doors at night. Parents drove their kids to school instead of letting them walk. And every October, as the leaves turned gold and red, someone placed a single blue ribbon on the guardrail of Route 17.